I'm scared. Did you see that? I stash busted a little too close to the sun.
Hello and welcome to the Faded Wildflower Crochet. My name is Rachel and I am starting a brand new series on my channel where we are going to be doing some stash busting projects. I wish I had a clever name for it. If you can think of any fun names for this series, let me know. But I have accumulated quite a bit of yarn over the years, and especially now that I'm reviewing a lot of yarn for the channel, I end up with way more yarn than I need. So I thought it would be fun to start a series where I just use up some of the yarn that I have, and maybe it can give you guys some ideas for how to use up yarn that you have. The first yarn that I chose off of my shelf is this Mandala Lion Brand yarn. Now I have 2 skeins of this left over from when I was making a shawl for my grandma that ended up turning into a scarf. And I had 2 skeins of this left over, and I had some other projects in mind of what I wanted to do with it, but in the end, none of that ended up happening. So these are just taking up space on my shelf, and I think the project I want to make with them is a hexagon cardigan. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. I've been wanting to make another hexagon cardigan ever since I made my first one, and I think this is going to be the perfect yarn to use for it, to make sort of a more lightweight cardigan, because it is a more lightweight yarn. So let me take you over to my couch and we'll talk more about the plans.
Okay, so I do have 2 skeins of this yarn, but as you can see, my problem is that these skeins start with, they're the same colorway. They're both the shade Niffler, but they start in different places, which is really, really confusing. I don't know why they do that, but it's really frustrating. So I have to decide where I'm going to start, which color I'm going to start with. And if you've never done a hexagon cardigan before, or you haven't watched my video where I made a hexagon cardigan, it is just 2 hexagons that are sewed together. And if I want them to look the same as each other, I need to start with the same color. And then with the other skein, I'll kind of just have to like take it apart. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I like the way that this skein looks better, but as you can see, there is some purple in there in the middle. And then on the outside of the skein, there is blue and then also purple. Like, I don't really exactly know. If I remember right from making my grandma's scarf, it was just supposed to be different stripes. It wasn't supposed to go back and forth between the colors like that. So I'm a little bit confused about what to do. Let's take this apart a little bit. So yeah, as you can see, the very middle color is this darker purple color. And then on the outside, it has this same blue here, which is really confusing. So what I really want to do is start with the blue, and that would be the color that would be in the armpit, and then go outwards towards the purple and end with the purple. That's what I want to do, but I'm not sure if I should have this blue be a part of this and like take that apart. And I don't know, am I making this more complicated than I need to? Probably. That's kind of my MO. I really want this to turn out well, but at the end of the day, it is just a cardigan for me to wear. I'm trying to take the pressure off a little bit, and this is everywhere. Hold on. So this is falling apart everywhere. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is just supposed to be a sweater for me, and I'm wanting this series to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more laid back, and just hang out with me and make some stuff. And I don't want to put as much pressure on myself. I am not sure when this is going to come out in the order of things, but the last 2 videos in a row that I filmed, the cardigan that I made with Dollar Tree supplies, and then my punch needling kit, both of those videos turned out not great. The videos were probably fine, but the actual projects themselves were not great. They were pretty disappointing for me, at least. And so I'm trying to just have a little bit more fun with my content and relax with you guys and just chat. So hopefully this turns out okay. And hopefully I don't regret my decision to just start with the blue. And I think if I cut this off right here where it's starting to turn into purple, start with the blue, then I can kind of gauge how many rows or how many rounds of the blue there will be. So when I start with the other one, I can do that same amount of rows. And if I have to do some like cutting off of the yarn and adding in yarn, that's okay. It will be fine. That's what I'm telling myself at least. So anyways, I am going to go ahead and get started on this. I'm really craving a nice project that I can just relax and not have to think very much about. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello, you guys. It is the next day and I've gotten this far. Oh, I never fold this right. There we go. I've gotten this far on my hexagon cardigan. Not too far yet, but I am so glad to be working on this. It is so nice and relaxing to have a project where it's no thoughts, just vibes. I am going to be doing some traveling as if I'm like going anywhere. I'm just going to be in the car visiting family and that kind of thing here soon. And so it's just going to be really nice to have this to throw in my project bag, take on the go, do it while I'm watching TV with the kids and all of that. I love it. But I am going to take a little pause on that. And I'm going to be working on a gift because we have a birthday party we're going to this weekend for a little family member who's turning 3. And I need to make a gift for him anyway. And I thought I could include it as part of this video because I am using yarn from my stash. So there we go. So I'm going to be using this skein. Look at that. I'm going to be using some velvet yarn from my stash. Now, I have nothing against this yarn. I have no particular reason why I want to use it up. It's just the fact that I have a lot of chenille yarn, as you can see, and it's taking up a lot of space. And so I just want to use as much of this as possible. And yeah, this skein is falling apart. This is Burnout Blanket. And then this is Loon Arm brand, I believe, from Amazon, which I love this brand of yarn. I haven't talked about it in a while, but I've mentioned it in favorite videos before. But the only thing about it is that you can't just get one skein of this. It comes in a 3-pack. And so once you finish the project, at least for me, if I'm finishing an amigurumi, I'm going to use like half a skein. And then I have so much left over. So we're going to be trying to use some of this up today. We did ask what this little guy's favorite animal is, and he loves dinosaurs, and particularly T-Rex and Triceratops. And I thought Triceratops would be perfect because he's turning 3, and I have a Triceratops pattern that I have been dying to try out. And I was thinking about waiting and including it in a pattern testing video where I test different dinosaur patterns, which I might still do that video at some point, but I really want to test this pattern out, and I think this yarn will be good for it. I don't know. I hope so. But I think in order to use more of this, I'm going to double it up. So I'm going to work this into 2 separate balls really quick. And this is my secondary color. I'm not going to be using as much of this, but I need some project ideas for this kind of dark red yarn because, again, I have so much of it. So anyways, I'm going to work this into 2 separate balls here. And then I will start on this Triceratops and hope that it goes well. I don't know. We'll see. Well, y'all, I stash busted a little too close to the sun because I ran out of yarn. I don't know why I thought this was going to go a lot further than it did. And in my haste, I was like, let me sew this up because I have enough for the head and the body if I just kind of make it work. But I'm not going to have enough for the tail. So I think what I'm going to do is just swap the colors. I know I'm going to have enough red because I have a whole unopened skein plus this skein. So that is plenty. I am going to attempt to take as much of this out as I can. The only thing I need it for is for the crest and the horns. So I don't need it for that much, but I'm so disappointed because this was going to look so cute. Like, I see the vision. It's going to be really cute. I'm glad that I picked this pattern, but now I just have to start over. And I hate that. I hate that I wasted my time, but you know, now I am very familiar with the pattern. So I feel like it's going to go quicker this time. That's what I'm telling myself, trying to look on the bright side of things. But yeah, I completely ran out of that. I mean, I know that's the point, but I didn't want it to run out before I finished the pattern. Okay, ignore my crazy hair. It's getting a little bit warm, so I took my overshirt off and put my hair up, but I don't want to turn the air conditioner on because first of all, it's loud, and second of all, it's not quite warm enough to turn it on. So anyway, do you want to see my Triceratops? Are you ready? He's so cute. Look at his face. Oh my goodness. I love him. And I really like this pattern. The one thing that I did change, because when I was working on the first one, I really didn't like how short the legs were. So I just added around to each of the legs to make it a little bit taller. So cute. Can't wait to gift this. I do only have this much of the blue left, and this is double stranded up. So I will throw that back on my shelf, but I definitely consider it a win to use up that much of that yarn, except for I have this head left. What do you guys do when you fail and you have a head where it has the safety eyes in it? Because I can't really salvage this yarn because it'll be all messed up. So what do you guys do? I feel weird throwing it away, but I don't know what to do with it. I usually like shove it in a drawer and then eventually probably end up throwing it away, but that feels wasteful. So what do you guys do? I probably should at least cut it open and take the stuffing out to salvage that part, but I don't know. It's like, I'm not going to use this for anything. What do you guys do? Give me your advice. I do still have this much of the red left. So I did use quite a bit of it though. I think that double stranding it up was a good idea. But man, I forgot why I don't like using burnout blanket. There are bits of the blue everywhere, but I forgot how much I actually love this yarn, which is the Loon Arm brand. I think I already mentioned that. I will have it linked down below, but this barely sheds at all. It's nice and thick and strong, but still soft. I love it. Just do keep in mind that it comes in 3 balls per order. You can't just order individually, which I really wish you could. But anyway, I am going to take just a little bit of a break, relax my hands for a bit, and then I'm going to start working on my hexagon cardigan again. So I'll meet you then. Okay guys, this is how far I've gotten on my cardigan. I think the amount of yarn that I have is going to be just enough because I am only going to go to the purple. Well, hopefully that's all I need to do. Because like I said, I don't know why this blue is here. It doesn't really make any sense. But as I was working on this, I kept thinking, this reminds me of something. What does this remind me of? Do you want to see what this reminds me of? So this right here, I'm about to unravel my project. Hold on. Okay, so this is Pioneer Woman yarn, which I've tried on the channel, which I'm pretty sure at this point is discontinued. And then this on the bottom is what I'm working on, the Lion Brand Mandala. Do they not look almost exactly the same as each other? I would say this color is like a little bit darker, just a little bit, but they are very similar. I would not be surprised if these are just the same yarn, which I know yarn companies do that, where it's like manufactured in one spot and then they just like put their own names on things, but the texture is the same. The weight, like it's a weight 3. This is a weight 3. I think they're the same yarn. I do think that I want to add white to the ends of the sleeve, like do a white ribbing. I think I want to. I don't know. I think white would look really good. I honestly could just use this. I don't know. We'll see once we get there. But I have another project I want to do for this video, which is going to be a pillow project. I have not made a pillow in ages, and I've really been wanting to make some just to have like around me in the background, just to be cute and also to be practical to use. And I think the yarn that I'm going to be using is the Latte Cakes, the Karen Cakes Latte. What I really wanted to do with that yarn was make a cardigan with it, but you cannot find that colorway anymore. Or you can find it. I found it on Amazon, but it was like $20 because it's discontinued. So that is the other project I think I'm going to do for this video. I might actually do one more as well. because I kind of want to do 4 projects. If you wonder why I do 4 things a lot, like I review 4 patterns, I review 4 yarns and videos, it's just because I like the number 4. There's literally no other reason behind it. I just like the number 4. So I really want to do 4 projects in this video, but I actually have an idea for one more. I'm going to need ponytail holders. So you can probably figure out what it is. So while I'm at the store, I'm going to get pillow inserts and ponytail holders. So I think I'm going to go right now, actually. Let's go. Hello guys, it is the next day. I was going to take you with me to the store and we could go browse the yarn and stuff, but I did not realize how late in the day it had gotten. And so I had to rush through and get everything I needed before I had to go pick up my daughter at school. So I apologize for that. But while I was there, I got myself a Dr. Pepper Zero. It is one of my favorite sodas. And I promptly spilled it all over my cardigan when I got home. I did dry it off pretty quickly. I don't see any staining, so I think it's okay, but I was so worried there for a minute. I was like, did I ruin it? But I think it's okay. But while I was there, I did get the pillows that I need. You can see them right there. And I also wanted to show you that I picked up this loom, which I have never tried loom knitting before, and I'm going to do this in the series where I'm trying out different crafts that I've never tried before. So I am going to get back to my cardigan eventually, but I do want to go ahead and get started on this pillow. I do have most of the skein of this left. I'm hoping that's going to be enough. I'm only going to probably make one of these because they aren't quite big. This is 16 by 16. And I think what I'm going to do is the method where you do a foundation chain and then crochet around the foundation chain and then just like keep crocheting until it's big enough. I think that's what we're going to do. And this does call for a 6.5 hook. So that's what we're going to be using. And I think that sounds like a really nice project. And I can already tell this is going to be such a comfy, cozy pillow. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Here is how far I've gotten on my pillow. Not too far yet, but I kept messing up on the length of it. I had it too long at first, so I completely took it out and restarted. And I kept trying to like measure it against the pillow, but somehow it was too big again. So I just ended up cinching in this side right here, just like skipping a few chains there. And so I'll just seam that up later. We're not going to worry about that. It's just a pillow. It doesn't have to be perfect. But you guys, I'm scared. What if I don't have enough yarn to finish this pillow? I'm really scared that I'm not going to have enough. But I don't know. Maybe I will. I'm so bad. If I've learned anything about myself through this video, it's that I am terrible at estimating how much yarn you need for a project. But other than that, I am really loving the way this looks. The variegation is a little chaotic, but I feel like it's perfect for a pillow. And again, it's just a pillow. It doesn't even have to look perfect. It's going to sit here in the background of my videos and probably Lily's going to lay on it a lot. So, you know, I don't think it has to be perfect by any means, but I do want it to look nice and it feels so nice. So I'm going to continue on this. I may switch back and forth between this and my cardigan, just depending on what I want to work on, but I will check in with you once I'm further along on one project or another. Okay, you guys, there is a lot going on at the moment. First of all, we are having a lovely little windstorm, which I don't know if you can hear it, if my microphone is picking it up, or if you can tell by how like white it is outside. It's like gray because the sky is like covered in dust. It's like Dust Bowl territory out there right now. It's not great. And then just a little while ago, the maintenance man came to fix our door from it being blown off the hinges from the last windstorm that we had. And then immediately following that, the FedEx man came to deliver, you can't really see it, but there's a crochet kit here and some yarn back here for my next review. I mean, that part was exciting, but poor Lily was like in a fit. She was not having it. It was too much for her. And literally the power is flickering. So if the power goes out, I apologize, but I wanted to give an update. So here is the first panel of the sweater, and it literally, can you see this? Is perfectly fit. And let me show you how much yarn I have left. Are you seeing this? That much left, which is amazing. It was exactly the goal for this sweater, is that it would be big enough for a cardigan, and it is literally perfectly big enough for a hexagon cardigan, because all I have to do is make the other side. Now I am absolutely crossing my fingers that the colorway works up the same so they can match up perfectly. I'm really worried about that just because they didn't start in the exact same spot. So I'm trying to find the exact blue. Did you see that? The power is flickering. The lights are flickering right now. I'm stressed. Anyways, so I'm stressed about all of these other things going on, but the sweater is going well, so that's a plus. Okay, I want you to pretend with me that I am wearing makeup and that my hair is not wet and that I'm not wearing pajama pants, but do you want to see my cardigan? Here it is! Oh my gosh. I am in love with it. I love it so much. It was definitely worth all of the time and effort because I had to redo the bottom ribbing of this thing, well, like 3.5 times. Is that right? So at first I wanted to do white, and I added the white and I immediately did not like that. But thankfully I realized that pretty soon. So I switched to this color, which is the Pioneer Woman yarn. I'm so glad I discovered that it's the exact same yarn as the mandala yarn. Exact same yarn. And that the colors looked really good. I wasn't sure at first if I was going to like it, but I love it. It looks so good. I think it really brings the whole thing together. But anyway, I did the bottom ribbing almost all the way, and then it was just too tight. I didn't like it. And so then I redid it again, and I realized that I did it backwards. I did it on the wrong side. So I did do some steaming. I actually did the steaming before I added the ribbing, and I haven't done any since because I noticed when I was making my failed cardigan, my Dollar Tree cardigan, that the places where the ribbing, it's just super sensitive. I don't know if it's because it's back loop only, but when I ran the steamer over my ribbing on that sweater, it was starting to like felt together, and I was like, oh, I better be really careful. So I haven't steamed this again since I added the ribbing. I don't know if I will because it's actually laying pretty good. I am, of course, going to wash this eventually, and that's probably going to help even more with it, you know, laying a little bit nicer. But Future Rachel here to give you an update that I washed this cardigan in the washing machine, dried it in the dryer, and it promptly shrunk, which I was not expecting because this is my third cardigan I've ever made, and the other two didn't shrink at all. And to my knowledge, I think they're all acrylic, or maybe the Colorama one is polyester, but still. None of the other two shrunk, but this one did. And I don't know why. But the main part that was affected was the sleeves. And so I did end up redoing them. So what I did was just add a few rows right here. And then I just made this cuff a little longer because, to be honest, I really wasn't happy with how short I made the cuff originally anyway. So I did redo that part. But let me show you that it is longer in the back, and then it gets shorter in the front, which is kind of a look I don't really mind. But if you have any tips on stretching this out a bit, let me know. I did steam it a little bit more, but I was afraid of over steaming it, so I didn't stretch this out as much as I could have. Overall, I'm still happy with it, and I will continue to wear it. I think it maybe has something to do with the ribbing here in the middle. I feel like ribbing is so hard for me to get right. I have to admit, I did redo these cuffs like 3 different times, and then I ended up like folding them over and having to sew. It's a lot. So if you have any tips for why you think this shrunk, or how to get ribbing right, please let me know. Okay, so here is how far I've gotten on my pillow. I am not too far from being done, and I think it looks so good. Look at that. The colors are amazing. The texture is amazing. And this is how much yarn I have left. So I feel like I'm going to have plenty, and I feel like I might even have a little bit left over, and I think I know exactly what I want to make with the leftovers, but we'll get to that later. So hopefully I can finish this maybe even tonight. Maybe tomorrow, but maybe tonight. That would be great. Okay, it's a little while later. My hair is a little bit more dry now. I'm still not wearing makeup, and I'm still wearing pajama pants, which you can't see, but I'm still wearing pajama pants. But I did finish my pillow here. Which side looks better? I think this side looks better, but this went a lot quicker than I thought that it would. I was really like starting to crochet all the way to the top when I realized that would leave a little bit too much extra fabric. So I just sort of cinched it to the top and sewed it, and it was perfect. I love that. It looks so good. It is so soft, so cozy. So what I want to make with the rest of this yarn, which I have quite a bit more left over than I expected, but I want to make a fish with this yarn, which is going to be the last project for this video. I want to make a fish because while I was at the birthday party where I was giving the dinosaur to the little birthday boy, I had another family member tell me, if you're going to make something for my daughter for her birthday, she's like, you don't have to, but if you want to, can you make her a fish? Because fish are her favorite animal. And I'm like, of course I'll make a fish. So I really want to make a fish with this. And I'm going to be using the pattern by Skein Spider, which is another crochet YouTuber. I'm sure you've heard of her. But I have seen her feature that pattern in some of her videos before, and I always think it's so cute, and she has a video tutorial for it. So I'm going to follow that. I'm going to go ahead and get started on it right now. I don't know when I will finish it, but I think that this is going to be really cute. And listen, are fish fluffy? No, fish are not fluffy. Squid are not fluffy either, and I made a squid with this, and it was so cute. So I think a fish is going to be cute in this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Okay, it is the next day, and I did finish my little fish. How cute is this? I absolutely love the way it turned out. Now, when I was working on it, this yellow stripe happened naturally, and I thought it was so cute. And then for the rest, I did kind of separate out the colors so that these two would be orange, the little bottom fins would be orange, and then the little top fin would be yellow, because I just think that is so cute. Love the pattern. So easy to follow. Definitely recommend. I am definitely going to be making this again for sure. I might end up sewing the two tails together. I think that might look really good. I don't know. She has an option of if you want to make two or you could just make one. I ended up making two just because that's how hers was, and I like the way it looked. But now with my yarn, I don't know if it's just my yarn. It's just like a little bit floppy. So I might end up just sewing those together and calling it a day. But I definitely really love this pattern. And I am overall just really, really happy with the way that this turned out and the way this video turned out in general. I had a lot of fun making some different projects with you guys. And I'm definitely planning on doing this again because, as you can see, I still have quite a bit of yarn to get through. So I would love your ideas on more stash busting projects. And I would still love your ideas for a name for this series because I, for the life of me, cannot think of a clever name. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've made it to this part of the video, I want to know, what were you working on as you watched today's video? If you did like today's video, be sure to hit the like button. You can subscribe, stick around. Let me know what other kind of videos you want to see next. You can join my Patreon where I make a bonus video as well as an exclusive pattern once a month. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.